Well, welcome to 2025, everybody. I am so excited about this year. Can you believe we are in a new year? And it's very exciting. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Let me tell you, do y'all know I started off with like 600 subscribers and I am so close to my goal of 2,000. That's my new goal. That's my new goal, 2,000 subscribers, and I know that you guys are locked in because you know that on this channel, this is where we grow together. So here we grow again. Can you believe that when we were younger, we had to do group projects? Wasn't that like just the craziest thing? At the age of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Can you believe that? And those group projects really simply followed us into adulthood in a sense that we no longer just work by ourselves, or we're not thinking about ourselves. But even as some of us matriculated through either trade school or matriculated through our work success, or even just through any matriculation of life, you realized there's one thing that we all have in common. Yes, we're all living. Yes, we're all human beings. We know that. But we have to work with people. Whether you're going through the drive-through, whether you're going into the store to buy something, whether you're going into a organized group setting, guess what? Every day, you have to work with someone. And today, we're going to talk about the 5 essentials that you need to work with people. I know, round of applause, round of applause. I hear people say all the time, they're like, hey, how in the world do you work with folks? How do you successfully work with people to get things done? And I'm going to help you with that today on this YouTube channel. So get ready, get your pen, get your paper, and let's go through this together. And I promise you, after we finish this, I want you to put in the comment whether this helped you, drop a quote, or let's say you want something expounded on. I want you to do that in the comments and let me know. Of course, always like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If this is your first time, my name is Diamond, and I'm so excited that you're here. Let's stay locked in together. So, how do you work with people? The first thing that you have to understand is effective communication. That's right. Effective communication is going to be your best friend in knowing how to communicate and how to say what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what we need to get done. Effective communication is going to be key. Guess what? I read a quote that once said, don't treat people how you want to be treated. Treat people how they want to be treated. Now, that's very difficult because people can have a myriad of ways that they want to be respected, a myriad of ways that they want to be approached, but effective communication will help with all of that. So let's dive in. The first thing that you want to learn is to be clear, be concise, and be open to expressing ideas. I know that's difficult because you may say, hey, I work in an environment, they don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to hear my contributions. Can I tell you this? It's not always what you have to say, it's how you say it. Clear and effective communication can help you convey the things that you're trying to say in a way that is respectful to everyone that you have to work with. So here's the thing. In order to learn how to speak, you have to learn how to listen. I'm dropping the gems today. In order to learn how to speak effectively, you have to learn how to listen. Listen to understand other people's perspectives without interrupting. Now, I know sometimes you can be in spaces, in meetings, and it just boils up. You're just ready. You're ready to speak. You're ready to share your mind. Hey, take a moment next time. Pause. Think about it. Reflect in your mind quickly about what you're getting ready to say, and then actively listen to the person. Hear them out. Hear what they have to say. And oftentimes when you listen to people, you'll learn not how you want to be treated or to say it how you want to say it, but you learn how to say it in a way that you know is going to be respectful to their ear. Here's the thing. You also got to examine when you're trying to communicate, what is your body language saying? How are you showing your body language? Are you slouching in the chair? Are you kind of rolling your eyes? Are you making sounds? What is your body doing while others are talking? These are things that you gotta think about in order to work with other people. The second one is huge, and that is emotional intelligence. Phew. I know many of us are intelligent. We can do math, we can do technology, we know how to figure things out, but some of us struggle with emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence is the reason why many of us can walk into different spaces and operate. It's not because we're so smart. It's not because we just have some type of open up the sky and we know how to do these things. It's because we learn emotional intelligence. What does a room feel like when you walk into it? What changes in a room just because you're there? If you're the CEO, then you know it's going to tighten up when you walk in. If you're someone's assistant, you know that they're going to be expecting you to do certain things to assist in that space. But you got to have the emotional intelligence to know that when I come into a space, there is always going to be something on someone's mind about why I'm there, what I'm there for, what am I going to do to change the space. You got to have emotional intelligence. I want you to do this. I want you to recognize, write this down, recognize and manage your emotions while being aware of others' feelings. The greatest thing that you can do as a leader, as a team member, is to think about how what you're going to say, what you're getting ready to do is going to affect someone else. It's not just about you. I can tell whether you're a team player, whether you're a leader, not based upon the great ideas you have. It's based upon the fact that I can put you on a team. You can be trusted on that team, that when we come back, people aren't giving up. They aren't quitting. It's one thing to be put over something and it goes great and you have thousands of dollars worth of collateral damage because you weren't able to work with people. Everybody wants to resign after you're finished working with them because you did not have emotional intelligence. I know that's not you. That's not you. Maybe your cousin, maybe someone else, but that's not you. So I want us to get to the place where we're able to do that. The other part of emotional intelligence, I want you to write this down also, is to practice empathy to build trust and foster understanding. Every time someone makes a mistake, you don't have to be the person to kick them while they're down because guess what? All of us make mistakes. All of us have bad days. All of us struggle in some type of area. So it's the empathy that makes people trust you to be able to work around them. If they have to walk on pins and needles trying to figure out how in the world can I work with you? I know if I make one mistake, it's going to be the end of the world. No one wants to work in that environment. So the same empathy that you would want someone to show you is the same empathy that you have to show to other people. And listen, it can be difficult, especially if you are a high achieving person, right? You're a high achiever, you like things done a particular way, you're A type, you're this, you're that. You got to understand that even the highest achievers get something wrong. Even the highest folks make some type of mistake. Remain calm and composed even in challenging situations. It's not always what you say, it's your body language, your demeanor, your composure when things go wrong. So when something is going down and there's a need or problem that needs to be solved, how is your demeanor in that space? Do you boil up and you're ready to be boisterous and take over the room and start throwing blame and just spewing blame in the atmosphere? Or are you composed, thinking about what you're getting ready to say in that moment? Because it's already it's already high intensity, especially when you're working in a space that you're always producing, you're always doing. It's already high intensity. So why don't you, with your leading self, or why don't you take a moment, step back, remain composed, and then offer what you have to say. And I found out when you keep your composure physically, then you keep your composure mentally. Write that down. When you keep your composure mentally, you'll keep your composure physically. I'll say that again because I'm flipping it on purpose because I want you to see the synergy there. When you keep your composure mentally, you'll keep your composure physically. When you keep your composure physically, you'll keep your composure mentally. Listen, when I was working out with a trainer, she would always say to me, there's something called muscle mind connection. Muscle mind connection. You got to understand that the way your muscles tense up in certain situations, the way that you may feel like you don't have control over yourself in certain situations, that spews to your mind. Then from the mind comes out of the mouth. So you got to understand that in these moments when you're working with people, it's incredibly important to keep your composure. Now, number 3, somebody say collaboration. Collaboration skills. I want us to get to the place where we understand that we gotta have collaboration skills in order to work with people. Listen, it's important to foster an inclusive environment. It's nothing like, and you know how this feels when you walk into an environment and you feel excluded. You feel like it's just for certain folks, and now you don't want to share your opinions and you don't want to share some of the things that come to your mind that may better your environment when you're working with people. Guess what? If you are collaborative and you foster an inclusive environment where everyone's input is valued, you move into another atmosphere. The worst thing that can happen as a leader, as a team member, that you can do is squander and squish people's opinions that may be things that you've never even thought about. I want you to learn this term. It's called collective intelligence. Collective intelligence. That means that you put yourself in spaces where the people around you can help catapult you and the group to a new experience, to a new place. That's collective intelligence, and it feeds into your collaboration skills. Hey, how about this? Just be flexible. It doesn't have to be your way or the highway. I know that often we can feel that our way is the best way, but be open, be flexible. Sometimes it's not about just how you feel it should be done. I believe that even when others offer other ways and you may not even feel the most confident about it, be flexible. Hey, let's just, for once, put your guard down and be flexible to what other people are trying to share in that space. If it's all about going toward the same goal and it's not going to squander the whole, then be flexible. Be open to what others have to share and be willing to compromise, not because the quality of the work or the quality of the project will be compromised, but simply be willing to compromise for the greater good. If you know you're in a meeting and someone has offered a way to do something quicker, you don't have to be the person that prolongs the meeting, that prolongs the space, all because it has to be your way or the highway. You gain credibility when you are able to be flexible. When you want others to be flexible to your opinions, to your thoughts, then you must be flexible to theirs as well. And then here's the other thing about collaboration. Don't take all the success for yourself. If you're working with others, one of the greatest things that you can do is sing their praises in front of your higher up or in front of the group to say, hey, I can't take the credit for this. So and so did a great job. And listen, it's not just about doing that in front of your higher up. Do you understand how long this will go when you just give credit, not just high, but when you give credit across the board to your coworkers, to the people that you're working with? Give them credit for the great ideas that they've done. And listen, here's the thing. Don't just do it in secret. Do it out in the open so others can hear, others can see that there are people who have great ideas as well. And that will begin to shift the atmosphere for a space of learning how to work with people. Now, number 4, this is a big one. This is the one that so many of us struggle with, and that is what I call CR, and that's conflict resolution. I know. Some people, when conflict comes, they shut down. Some people, when conflict comes, they explode. Some people, when conflict comes, they remain linear. Some people, when conflict comes, hey, I'm out the door. I gotta go. I'm resigning. I'm done. Hey, how about this? Let's look at I want to offer a different perspective about conflict resolution. Here's the thing. Most people think that conflict resolution should be something that we just sit around and kind of wait to talk about. But I want to flip that a little bit. I think conflict resolution means that we ought to address disagreements promptly and professionally. Work on solving the problem and not blaming the person. Far too often, we make our personal thoughts towards a person the forefront of conflict resolution. That's why you see people who kind of just pop off, or you see people who crash out. And that's not the way to do it. When you're focused on solving the problem, you want to talk to that person so clearly that your whole point is, hey, I know that we have this issue. We don't see eye to eye, but there is a goal to reach. And together, I believe we can do it if we sit down and talk about such and such. If we sit down and talk about this, I want you to focus on solving that problem and not blaming that person. So, seek win win solutions. This means when you sit down with that person, when you sit down to try to resolve the conflict, you're looking at solutions that will cause the whole to win. Not just solutions that make you feel good or solutions that make you just feel like you're the big dog, you got over on that person. It's not about that. It's about win win solutions that, hear this, maintain the relationship. If I'm going to look away to my invisible camera, if your conflict resolution is just about blaming the person, you will never maintain the relationship. I'm talking to my invisible camera now. Now I'm talking to you. Here's number 5. Learn cultural and personality awareness. Recognize and respect differences in cultural backgrounds, values, and communication styles. This is huge because I think I'll do another video even on intergenerational communication, right? When you're working in groups, I've heard people say this all the time. Oh, I can't work with them because they're this age bracket. They're older than me. I can't work with them because they're younger than me. Young people just don't understand X, Y, and Z. And when I was coming up, they did it this way. Let's move that aside. The truth of the matter is, if we're going to be great leaders, if we're going to be great team members, then we have to learn how to work with people culturally and to know personality awareness. How about this? Adapt your approach based on the personalities and needs of the individuals you work with. Guess what? It's okay before you go into someone's office, before you make that phone call, to think about how you can effectively communicate it to that person. When you do the other 4 steps that I mentioned, all of that is collecting personality data. Collecting personality data. I know that this is not the way that person would think about it, but let me find a way to translate this. So that means if you're working with a senior member of the team, senior in rank, not age, that means that maybe you don't go into their space saying, hey girl, hey man, all of that. You think about the respect that you want to show that person before you even speak with them. Think about how you even address that person in public spaces. Even when you're addressing them, making sure that you're showing the respect that they deserve and the respect that they value. Even on the receiving end of that, it's okay to ask clarifying questions. Ask clarifying questions. Hey, do you mind repeating that? Hey, do you mind sharing or digging deeper about what this means? Or I do this all the time. Hey, I'm a little ignorant to how that goes. Can you explain it to me? Do you see how this now disarms the defense of misunderstanding? Because the truth of the matter is, there are things that people may know that you simply may not. And it's okay to take a step back and ask for clarity so that you are able to interpret what they're saying based upon the culture of where they come from, based upon the culture even of the organization, and based upon the personality awareness of that person. You got to even think about sometimes when you're coming into spaces, you may be a jokester where other people aren't used to that. So your jokes can be perceived as a personality flaw or even a professional flaw when you've had no issue in your other previous job or no other. That's because people had taken data of your personality and they understand who you are at the core. And that's why it's so important that you remember those first 4 steps. Remember, effective communication was number 1, emotional intelligence was number 2, and number 3 was collaboration skills. Number 4, conflict resolution. And number 5, cultural and personality awareness. Here's what I want you to do. Celebrate the diversity that's a part of your team. And watch, you'll be able to better work with people, better understand people, and I promise you, it'll take you to the next level. I believe that this year, if we're standing on connection, if we're standing on the fact that we need connection to get to where we're trying to be, then you gotta learn how to work with people, because those connections can take you from good to great. Those connections can take you from effective to excellent. Those connections can take you from mediocre to leading in your field. And that's what I want for you. I want the best for you. So if this was helpful, I want you to drop a comment. Let me know, which one are you working on? Which one do you want to hear more about? What other topics can I help you with in order to be an effective person, an effective team member, an effective leader? Because guess what? This is the channel where you grow. Here we grow again. I'm excited about your 2025. I believe this is going to be a great year. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Join us next week because we got some more tips that are coming your way.